I'm getting a bit better of dragging my shop vac around the workshop every time I want to use a tool or clean up. And invariably I just leave it where I last used it and then I trip over it as I'm walking around. So what I'm planning on doing is putting a ducted system in so that I've always got dust extraction wherever I am in the workshop whenever I need it. Let's get to it.
The first job was extracting this sheet of 18mm plywood to make the blast gates. These gates allow the airflow to be directed around the system without losing suction. I marked this out and used the circular saw to break it down into manageable pieces. Fronts, backs and handles of the gates were then cut at the table saw. And the sliding parts of the gates were cut from 3mm plywood. All the pieces came together like this. I found that the gates were a little bit too stiff to start with, so I added a couple of sheets of paper to give just enough clearance to allow them to slide easily without being too leaky. I used CA glue to stick on the handles just because it was quick. I didn't have any paste wax on hand, so I used some beeswax to try and lubricate them. This trepanning bit was perfect for cutting the holes for the pipes to slot into. Definitely one of the scarier tools I've used. There are 9 gates in total for my system. And to connect all of the ducts, I made a few custom connectors, which required 1 or 2 parts made on the 3D printer. One such part was something I thought would be easy to find, a 45-degree branch. I searched high and low, but nowhere had any stock, so I designed my own based on a short length of pipe with a specially shaped hole for the branch. All of the 3D files are on Thingiverse. There's a link down in the description. I used silicone sealant to make up a bunch of sub-assemblies, and that made the wall mounting process a lot quicker and easier. The pipes are connected to the blast gates with the gate closed to make sure that they still slide perfectly. I'm using 68mm drain pipe on the recommendation from Rag & Bone Brown. Even though the diameter is smaller than the hose from my dust extractor, the pipe and fittings are a lot cheaper and more available. Once all the sub-assemblies were done, all the ducting could be mounted to the walls. I left a few joints connected only by duct tape to allow for clearing away any blockages and adding more ducting if I need to. Everyone uses Cyclone dust separators now, and they're great. I have one on my shop vac, but using one of these small ones would be too tight a constriction on the airflow, and bigger units are just too expensive. So I decided to split the flow and use 2 cyclones in parallel. I hooked them up with flexible hoses and custom printed adapters. I added a mark to each gate to show which way was closed, and then added about 1.5 meters of flexible hose to go between the ducting and the tools. Then I could attach the hose connectors to each of my tools. These are designed so that each tool can be connected and disconnected in seconds.
So at this point I have a fully functioning dust extraction system, perfectly usable, but I have to take 5 whole steps away from my workbench when I want to turn the dust extractor on or off. That's not good enough, so in the next video I'm going to be adding a bit of automation, something to make it a little bit more user friendly. That, and I'll be showing the whole system in action. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you subscribe to catch that next video. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.